I don't care what anyone thinks of me anymore. I care what I think of myself. Written and narrated by Peter J. Merrick. This afternoon, I sat down at my computer to work on something completely different. Instead, I found myself staring at a blank screen before typing a sentence that stopped me cold. I don't care what anyone thinks of me anymore. I care what I think of myself. Then I just sat there looking at it. The reason was simple. I was not entirely sure I believed it. The truth is that for most of my life, I cared very much what other people thought. Actually, let me be more honest than that. I was hungry for approval. There, I said it. Not a little approval, a lot of it. I wanted clients to respect me. I wanted professional colleagues to respect me and like me. I wanted audiences to enjoy my presentations. I wanted readers to love my books, my columns, my articles, and my blogs. I wanted women I cared about to admire me. I wanted family members to accept me. I wanted the people closest to me to treasure me. And underneath all of that was something even deeper. I wanted people to tell me that my life mattered. I wanted evidence that I mattered. I wanted proof. Looking back now, that is a strange thing to admit, especially at 57. But it is true. The funny thing is that 20 years ago, I probably would have denied it. I would have dressed it up with nicer language. I would have called it achievement. I would have called it contribution. I would have called it professional standards. Looking back now, much of it was something much simpler. I wanted significance. I wanted people to tell me that my life had value. I wanted the outside world to confirm something I had never fully confirmed for myself. That realization was uncomfortable. There were times when hundreds of thousands of people would read something I had written and enjoy it. Then I would find myself thinking about the one person who did not. One, not 10, not 50. One. Looking back now, that seems insane. It is a little like having 99 people tell you the meal was wonderful, then lying awake thinking about the fellow who thought the soup needed more salt. Yet I did exactly that, more times than I cared to admit. The funny thing is that I thought I was being professional. I thought I was being thoughtful. I thought I was improving. What I was really doing was allowing one stranger to carry more weight in my mind than everyone else combined. That is not wisdom. That is bad math. I spent 35 years helping people make better financial decisions. Yet somehow it took me 57 years to realize I was making one of the worst investments of my life. I was investing more trust in strangers than I was investing in myself. Looking back now, that was terrible math too. One of the most embarrassing realizations of my life is that I spent decades asking strangers questions they were never qualified to answer. Do I matter? Am I successful? Am I respected? Am I enough? The strange part is that I kept asking people who had absolutely no idea. They did not know my sacrifices. They did not know my intentions. They did not know my failures. They did not know my victories. Many of them barely knew me at all. Yet somehow I gave their opinions more weight than my own. Looking back now, that feels almost absurd. For years I thought there was a secret group of adults somewhere who had life figured out. The successful people, the confident people, the people with larger businesses, the people with beautiful cottages, the people with winter homes along the intracoastal, the people who looked like they had received the instruction manual for life that somehow never arrived in my mailbox. Naturally, I assumed they possessed answers. Then I got to know many of them. That turned out to be one of the most educational experiences of my life. What I discovered was both comforting and disappointing. They were human. Completely human. They worried about their children. They worried about relationships. They worried about getting older. They worried about their health. They worried about money despite having plenty of it. And many of them worried about what other people thought. The only real difference was that they were having their existential crises in kitchens with better countertops. That realization made me laugh, not at them, at myself. For years, I had been looking for wise elders. Then I discovered the wise elders were looking for wise elders too. The biggest realization came later. For most of my life, I gave more weight to other people's opinions of me than I gave to my own. Think about how backwards that is. Who has lived with me every day for 57 years? Me. Who knows every success? Me. Who knows every failure? Me. Who knows every sacrifice nobody saw? Me. Who knows every battle fought in silence? Me. Who knows what it cost? Me. Yet somehow I spent years acting as though strangers were more qualified to determine my value than I was. Nobody stole that authority from me. I handed it over willingly, and that may be one of the biggest mistakes of my life. The greatest irony is that I spent decades trying to convince other people that my life mattered. I wanted clients to think I mattered. I wanted colleagues to think I mattered. I wanted readers to think I mattered. I wanted women to think I mattered. I wanted family members to think I mattered. I wanted the world to think I mattered. And while I was busy trying to convince everyone else, I never stopped long enough to ask myself a far more important question. Do I think I matter? Because the truth is that the only person whose approval I actually needed was me. The only person who needed to believe my life mattered was me. The only person whose respect I had to earn was me. For years, I kept asking the world whether my life mattered. The world never had the answer. I was asking the wrong audience. The answer was sitting in the mirror the entire time. Do not misunderstand me. I still care deeply about people. I still want to do good work. I still want to help. I still want my writing to matter. I still want to leave people better than I found them. In fact, I care about those things more now than I ever have. The difference is that I no longer do those things to earn approval. I do them because they matter to me. I do them because they are consistent with my values. I do them because they're consistent with the man I want to be. Recognition depends on other people. Significance does not. A man can help another person and never receive credit. A man can change a life and never know it happened. A man can do meaningful work and never receive applause. It is still meaningful. It still matters. Treating people well matters to me. Keeping my word matters to me. Doing my best work matters to me. Helping others matters to me. Not because everyone notices, not because everyone approves, not because everyone applauds, but because I value my life. I value my character. I value my word. I value me. Life eventually strips almost everything away. Titles fade, status fades, recognition fades, applause fades. The crowd moves on, the audience disappears, and eventually only one witness remains, the man in the mirror. He knows what really happened. He knows what it cost. He knows whether you tried. He knows whether you kept your word. He knows whether you treated people well. He knows whether you lived according to your values. He is the only witness who has seen the entire story. That is why his opinion matters. Not because he is perfect, not because he is always right, but because he is the only witness who has seen the whole movie. Life eventually asks every man one unavoidable question. Can you respect the person looking back at you in the mirror? Because when the noise fades, when the applause ends, when the critics disappear, when the crowd moves on, there is only one person left standing in the room with you. You. And if that person respects you, if that person trusts you, if that person knows you did your best, then you have already won a game that millions of people spend their entire lives trying to win. At 57, I have finally learned something that took me far too long to understand. The only approval worth earning is my own. And fortunately, after all these years, the man in the mirror and I are finally becoming friends. Peter J. Merrick. A.K.A. old fart, finally realizing he was asking the wrong audience the wrong question.